Hello everyone, I am back with a fresh smartwatch review. Today we're going to call this the E300 Gen 2 smartwatch. Now I say it's the Gen 2 smartwatch because I've done a previous review of the E300 and it's actually one of my favorites. It was one of the first to integrate laser therapy into it. But this new Gen 2, and I paid for this with my own money, and that's only possible for viewers like you watching my videos and leaving comments or interacting with my videos in some way. But this new version of the E300 also has now incorporated blood glucose monitoring into it. So it's the same watch with an additional feature. Now I think I paid on the order of $55 or $56 for this watch. And again, I paid up for it because it has a unique feature set. It's got the stuff that I reviewed before. It's got the heart rate, EKG, laser therapy, but now it also includes blood glucose monitoring. And spoiler alert, I don't believe any blood glucose non-invasive watch is accurate, so don't ask if they're accurate. The answer is no. They are not FDA approved. They are not medical devices at this point. In my opinion, they are just neat, fun novelties, and nobody should ever trust health decisions to them. So let me press the button, see if it has some juice out of the box. Yes, it does. We scroll through, there's your laser therapy mode, and this will shine those lasers, and you'll see them here. So I like that. Whether you put in any stock into that or not, that's up to you. I think it's a bunch of nonsense, really. I don't think it does much of anything, but it is a feature that some people believe helps their health in some way. It's got a temperature mode, continuous heart rate, EKG, ECG to initiate that. It's got electrodes on the back, and then you would press this button on the side, hold your finger against that to complete the circuit to get EKG, blood pressure, SpO2, blood oxygen saturation. And here's the glucose measurement. So this is new in the Gen 2 version of this. I'm going to drop a review to my first review of the E300 into the description of this video, but I'm going to go charge this up, wear it for several days, and then come back with my full, fair, honest review of this new version of this smartwatch. Alright, I've been wearing this watch for about 5 days now. The battery life is still at 62%. I like this screen. There are multiple watch faces. This review is just going to depart from my typical reviews, and I'll explain why in just a couple moments. I'm just going to walk you through the numbers this generates, and I'm choosing my words wisely here. This is a number generator. So you have your main screen. Here is your progress bar for the day, an estimate of kilocalorie burn, your number of steps, your estimated miles walked. You have your laser therapy mode. This is a double probe 650 nanometer laser. I'll show you that in a minute. It just shoots red laser light into your arm under the skin, and they make claims about what that does. I don't think it does anything at all. But if you are a believer, you are going to believe. If you're a skeptic, you're going to laugh with me and say that's complete nonsense. Shooting 650 nanometer lasers in your arm doesn't really do much of anything. It will generate a number for your skin temperature and then calculate a body temperature. For me, and I'm only claiming this for myself, the temperature this reports is always very close to what I know my regular body temperature to be. My regular body temperature tends to be about 97.5 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is always very close to that. It gives you a heart rate, and you can choose to do sort of a continuous heart rate mode when you're in a sports mode, or take all of these measurements at intervals. I have mine set up to do every 30 minutes. It has an EKG, ECG. Again, when you do this, you press your button, finger on the side to complete the circuit. It will do that measurement. It does blood pressure. I'm not going to claim any degree of accuracy on this. I can only say for myself, it seems reasonable, and I compare that to a blood pressure cuff that I have, and then when I go to one of the big box stores that has one of those machines where you sit down and put your arm in it and it takes your blood pressure, I get generally the same numbers, but this is not a medical device. I am not qualified to give medical advice, so I don't. I make no claims of accuracy, but it generates a number for blood pressure. Blood oxygen saturation, this one I will say, and I get a lot of comments saying, how do you know it's close to being accurate or reasonably within the ballpark for you? I will let this take its measurement here, and in this case I always compare it to a pulse oximeter that I have. It's a finger tip device, and I'll let the watch do its thing, 97% SpO2, and then I'll do it with the pulse ox on my finger, and it says 97%. So that's how I compare it. So SpO2 for me seems reasonably accurate. This is the blood glucose measurement. Diabetics, don't buy these watches. Don't buy these non-invasive smartwatches. These Chinese companies are pumping these into the market right now, and they're making wild claims, and in their advertising, they almost always say, you know, blood glucose monitoring, non-invasive, and then they put the words in there that say medical grade. And I used to give them the benefit of the doubt that they were maybe really sneaking in that, you know, some part of the device is medical grade, maybe the metal, maybe the plastic, maybe something else. But now I just believe they're flat out lying and deceiving people. They're preying on diabetics who want to get away from finger sticks and want a non-invasive way to take blood glucose measurements. Folks, these are toys. These are not medical devices. Don't trust them. Diabetics, please don't ever buy one of these and trust any sort of health information to them. It's just, the technology is not there yet. And what further irritates me is you can pick up a watch like this on AliExpress for like $30 to $50. And I see ads on Facebook that companies are like reselling these, and they're making even wilder claims about them, and they're selling them for like $150. I've seen them for $249. Those third-party companies, man, they are just ripping you off blindly. I see these ads popping up on Facebook, and I report all of them as deceptive or misleading, because it's egregious what's going on here, folks, with these supposed non-invasive blood glucose monitoring smartwatches. They're not medical devices. I can't say this enough. Don't trust them. Don't trust any health information to come accurately from one of these watches, all right? But I press that button a second time, and you can get into all your modes here. It's got some sports modes. I've done a few workouts, fitness workouts in the gym, and it just basically will do your continuous heart rate over the course of that workout and give you an estimate of kilocalorie burn and tell you how long the workout was. You don't really get any, in my opinion, useful information from any of it. But I'll say this, I like the looks of this watch. The E300 has always been a favorite of mine, and this one now incorporates the blood glucose number generator in addition to all the other features that the original Gen 1 E300 had. This is called the E300DL. And I suppose that stands for deciliter. Right before I went on camera, I did a blood glucose measurement on the watch. I got a number of 88.8 milligrams per deciliter. I compared that to my glucometer, and I got a number of 76 milligrams per deciliter. Again, to me, that's not even close. Not to be trusted, but a lot of people ask for the comparison. That's the comparison for me. And that said, in the blood glucose mode, you can kind of normalize it or like input what your fasted blood glucose measurement is, and then it just kind of, I think, assumes that in the morning before you've eaten a meal. You know, I don't trust any of them. I can't say that enough. I feel like I'm saying it way too much, but I can't say it enough. None of these companies have said how they're doing blood glucose. They've not explained the methodology. It's not sound science, as far as I can tell. If somebody ever cracks this technology, it's not going to be some Chinese company with a $50 watch. It's going to be somebody like Apple or Samsung or one of the big players. So let's go back into the laser therapy mode here. You press that, the lasers turn on, it comes out from here and here. That's your 650 nanometer laser, the two red lights. This in and of itself, I think, is extremely dangerous as well. Free launching a laser into the air where people can look into it and that can get in their eyes is dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. It can cause eye damage. So when it's attached to your wrist going into your skin, that's one thing. But the fact that you can flip this around and potentially look into the laser light, that is scary, folks. You really shouldn't be shooting lasers into your eyes. Dangerous. All right, so I wanted to point that out. And let's go look at the app, and I'll come back with my final thoughts. The app here is something called Smart Health. It's the same app that I showed you in the E300 review, so I'm not going to dwell on this. It gives you your sleep estimation. I find this to be pretty accurate. You can look at the weeks and the days. I find it to be fairly accurate. Here's your EKG, ECG. It will take those measurements. Here's your blood pressure, and you can look at the measurements over time by days and weeks. It gives you your high and your low. Beats per minute, that's your heart rate, and blood oxygen saturation, respiratory rate, your blood glucose, and your body temperature. Now, I've done a number of fitness routines in the gym on the watch, but it doesn't seem to capture that anywhere in the app. So that's interesting. I don't know why that is, but that's how it is. But that's the app. It's pretty basic. Here are my final thoughts. I think it's a fun watch. I happen to really just like the looks and how this one features. I like the sleep tracking, and I like to watch my trends either go up or down as I eat, as I exercise. But I don't use this to really trust it for any health information. I don't think you should either. Just wanted to show you the watch. You have to make your own informed decision. Do your own research, folks. Diabetics, again, one last time, do not buy any non-invasive blood glucose monitoring smartwatch and think it's accurate. These are glorified toys. Until next time, be fit, stay healthy, and we'll talk again not too far into the future. Thank you.